In this guide, we will look at the best email marketing strategy on how to avoid emails going to spam folder so that every email you send will not only avoid the spam folder but will also hit into the primary inbox folder. A good place to start is to understand what is the purpose of spam folder. Do you know? So in my opinion, the answer are to kick out unwanted marketing's email that you don't opt in or totally not related to your interest. The second thing is to keep us safe from virus and scamming activities. So at the end of this video, if you take action to follow the tips that I'm going to share in this guide, you should be able to increase your email deliverability rate and you should be able to avoid your email going to spam folder. So the first thing that we need to do is to authenticate our domain email. If you can enable your sender policy framework, or we call SPF, domain keys identified mail, DKIM, and domain message authentication reporting and conformance, or what we call DMARC, in your email services, this will greatly improve your domain email deliverability. Enable all of this if you can, or if you have this option in your email service provider. In short, if you enable these protocols, this will tell the receiving email server that you really own this email and you are using a certain email service to send email on your behalf. So for my case, in my email hosting, let's say I go to email accounts. As you can see, I can enable my DKIM in this email account. And I also have my SPF setting and my DKIM setting in my DNS management. So for most of the case, my email will not land into the spam folder, but it will also depends on other factors like my email content and the others point that I'm going to show you at the moment. The second point that we need to take note is to avoid using spammy keywords. Avoid as possible using certain keyword in your subject line and email, just like the words like shopping, buy, free, etc. The spam filter will auto block those email. Because the list of the spammy keywords are too long, so I have prepared a document that you can download on my official blog, or you can download at the link in the description for this document where I already list out the most 200 common spammy keywords that you should avoid in your email. The third point is to check blacklist on your domain. You can check if your domain is blacklisted. I still remember there is once when I newly purchased a domain name and it was blacklisted before even I create an email account on the domain. Do you think this is a joke? No, it is because someone previously purchased this domain name and sent a lot of spammy emails, so that domain name is blacklisted. If you are interested to check on your domain name whether it's blacklisted, you can check it with free tools like MX Toolbox. Let me show you. This is the website. You can check whether your domain is blacklisted by clicking the menu here and key in your domain name and click on check blacklisted. As you can see, my domain is not blacklisted. So you are free to subscribe to my email list. I'm not a spammer. I only send useful tips to my subscriber. Just a joke. For point number 4 is to use double opt-in. The best is to use a double opt-in sign-up process where you will send the confirmation email asking the subscriber to validate their email address, because this will greatly improve your email deliverability and because this will trigger a two-way communication between your email and the subscriber email. Point number 5 is to clean up your email list. Every now and then, clean up your list to make sure you are not sending to non-existing email address. Because if your hard bounce rate increase, and this will be the fastest way to trigger spam and blocking your email from the receiving email server. For point number 6 is to include your brand name in your from field. Because in my opinion, in the from field, you should always include your brand name. Example, for my case, I always like to use Andrew from Kaipor or something to show that I'm very transparent, to let you know everything about me and I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm not sure about you, but for me, if let's say someone sent to me an email to recommend me to buy something and he's not transparent to show me who are they or what is the website and their brand name, I'm definitely will never buy from those email because they are not transparent and sincere. They don't feel proud on themselves because they are hiding on their brand name. For point number 7, you must always include the physical address and the unsubscribe link to let the subscriber easily unsubscribe to your list in case if they are not interested on your email anymore. For example, let's say my email, I always like to include my physical address and the unsubscribe link. This will make my subscriber to unsubscribe to my email easily. For point number 8 is to personalize your email address. So again, in the subject line, it's best to include the recipient name. What I mean here is, let's say for my email, this example, I always like to start with hi with the name of the recipient. And again, for me, I always like to tell the recipient my name and from my brand name. And another thing that is very important is to make sure that you use the right spelling for the recipient name. Next, for point number 9 is to never overdoing. So just write your email naturally to keep your subject line and content as short as possible without overdoing the fancy, huge graphic and attachment. Another thing is to avoid using all caps letter and the exclamation mark, because by doing this, the receiving email server will easily mark your email as a spam, even though you are not. And for point number 10 is to ask your recipient to whitelist your email, because in my opinion, this is the most important steps, because this will override any other point that I mentioned earlier. So it will be the best if you can tell your subscriber to whitelist your email by adding your email address to their contact list, or by simply drag your email from spam folder to primary inbox. Let me show you how to do this. So let's say this is my spam folder and this is my spam email. To set this email to go into my inbox, I need to click on report not spam. So the email will go into my inbox. Another way is, let's say we have primary, social and promotion tab. And this email I would like to whitelist to make sure the next time when he send email to me will go into my primary inbox. So what I need to do is to click and drag this email to primary and let go. So you will see the pop-up message say that conversation moved to primary. So the next time when he or she send the email to you, will go direct into your primary inbox. So with these 10 tips, you should be able to avoid your email to land into the spam folder. But in generally, there are many factors that cause your email to land into the spam folder. So as for the best way is to use the real email delivery services. You may refer to this article in my blog, or you may check the link in the description of this video where you can get my recommended professional and free email service provider that you should use. So with this, I hope that you can like and subscribe to this channel if you find this video to be informative and helpful. And I will also leave a link in the description for you to learn more tips like this.